Hey guys, welcome back to Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiverr. If you're new here, this is where we break down the art and science of marketing with our hosts, Liv and Max. They will help you understand marketing better, explore fresh strategies, and most importantly, drive higher conversions. So whether you're a seasoned pro, or even if you're just getting started, you're at the right place.
All right, let's jump into Google Ads A/B testing. I've got this excerpt here from Google Ads A/B testing, a deep understanding, and wow, there's a lot to unpack here.
Definitely a smart move to really get a handle on this stuff, especially with how competitive things are.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, look at this. Almost 80% of businesses are using Google Ads. 80% in 2024.
Yeah, it's wild out there, which is exactly why having an edge like A/B testing is so important.
Totally. It's almost like, well, it's like having a secret weapon. But okay, before we get too far out of ourselves, let's just back up for a sec. What exactly is A/B testing when it comes to Google Ads?
So basically, it's like running a little experiment. You're comparing two versions of something in your ad.
Okay.
It could be the headline or an image or like the call to action. You want to see which one works better, which one your audience likes more.
So you're not just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks?
No, it's way more strategic than that.
Okay, good.
It's more like, have you ever tried to perfect like a recipe, like your grandma's famous cookies or something?
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't just like swap out the butter for shortening A and D, change the baking time all at once.
Right.
You want to tweak just one thing, and then you see how that affected things.
Right. Isolate the variables. Got it. So the excerpt talks about all these benefits of A/B testing. Like, it can really improve ROI, but how does that actually play out, in the real world?
Okay, so let's say you're running a campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got this new line of athletic wear you're trying to sell.
Right.
And through A/B testing, you figure out that people are really responding to the moisture-wicking fabric more than they care about how stylish the clothes are.
So it's about speaking to what the audience actually needs.
Exactly. And that means more clicks and down the line, more sales. You're letting the data tell you where to put your money.
Smart. So you're creating better ads, but you're also more confident about where you're spending your budget.
Exactly. No more guessing games. Just data-driven decisions.
Okay, love it. Now, the excerpt also mentions reducing your cost per acquisition. What's the deal with that? And how does A/B testing help?
So CPA, cost per acquisition, is basically how much it costs you to get a new customer.
Okay.
Let's say you're, an online course provider. You're trying to get people to sign up for that free trial, right? You could A/B test different calls to action. Like, instead of learn more on the button, you try start my free trial today.
Oh, I see. Creates more urgency.
Right. And maybe you find out that this little change leads to like 15% more signups.
Wow.
You're getting more customers for your money, which means your CPA goes down and your profits go up.
That's awesome. It's crazy how these little things can make such a big difference.
It really is. And that's why A/B testing is so powerful. It helps you uncover those little hidden gems that can really move the needle.
All right, so we've got optimizing ad performance, controlling the budget, reducing CPA. The excerpt also talks about click-through rates and conversions. How does A/B testing play into those?
Imagine you're let's say, a SaaS company.
Yeah.
And you're promoting this awesome project management tool.
Okay.
You could test different headlines, right? One that focuses on how easy the tool is to use, and another that highlights its collaboration features.
So you're testing different selling points.
Exactly. And let's say the collaboration headline leads to a 20% higher click-through rate. That's more people visiting your website, and that gives you a better shot at converting them.
And I remember the excerpt had a specific example too. Changing the CTA from learn more to get started today made a big difference. So action-oriented language seems to be key.
You got it. You want to make it super clear what you want people to do and make it easy for them to do it.
All right. And then another thing the excerpt really emphasizes is ad relevance. How does A/B testing help you create ads that people actually care about?
Think about it this way. You wouldn't pay attention to an ad for lawn care if you lived in an apartment, right?
Definitely not.
It's just not relevant to you. And it's the same with online ads. You want your ads to reach the people who actually need and want what you're offering.
Makes sense. You don't want to waste your money on people who aren't interested.
Exactly. And that's where A/B testing comes in. It helps you refine your targeting and your message so you're reaching the right people with the right message.
Okay, so let's say you're selling, I don't know, vegan leather handbags. You wouldn't want to target people who are searching for real leather.
Bingo. You can use A/B testing to figure out exactly who your ideal customer is and then tailor your ads to them, from the images you use to the words on the page.
Okay, that makes sense. You're creating a better experience for your potential customers. And hopefully that translates into more sales.
Exactly. And that's the ultimate goal, right? To get a better return on your investment.
All right, so we know A/B testing is important, but what exactly can we test? What are some of the things we should be experimenting with?
Oh, there's so many possibilities. But let's start with landing page designs. A good landing page can make or break your campaign. It's not enough to just get people to your website. You have to keep them engaged once they're there.
Right, you want them to actually convert, whether that's making a purchase or signing up for something.
Exactly. And you can test all sorts of things on your landing page.
Hmm.
The layout, the colors, the calls to action where you place certain content.
So like you could test a long, detailed landing page against a shorter, more visual one and see which one leads to more signups.
Exactly. And don't forget about your bidding strategy. You can experiment with different bidding options to find that sweet spot where you're getting the most visibility for your budget.
Right, you don't want to overspend or underspend. Okay, and then we've got headlines and calls to action. Those seem pretty important.
Absolutely. Headlines are often the first thing people see, so they need to grab attention. And the call to action tells them what to do next.
So you could test a benefit-driven headline, like save 20% on your first order, against a more general one, like shock our latest collection.
Exactly. And for the call to action, you could test shop now against get your discount today to see which one creates a stronger sense of urgency.
I like that. And then, of course, we can't forget about visuals. Images and videos are super important these days.
Absolutely. You want to test different visuals alongside different copy to see what resonates best with your target audience.
So for a travel company, you might test a picture of a beautiful beach against the picture of a bustling city.
Right. And then you could tailor your ad copy to match. Talk about relaxation and escape for the beach, or excitement and adventure for the city.
Okay, and then we've also got audience targeting.
Yes. You can test different demographics, interests, behaviors, even locations to see who responds best to your ads. You don't want to waste money on people who aren't likely to convert.
So you're using A/B testing to get laser focused on your ideal customer.
Exactly. And for anyone running e-commerce, don't forget about product descriptions.
Oh, right. Those are important too.
Definitely. The way you describe your products can have a huge impact on whether people buy them or not.
So you might A/B test a description that focuses on the technical details of a product against one that focuses on the benefits or how it can be used.
Exactly. Okay, so now we know what we can test.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we actually do it? What are the steps to setting up a successful A/B test?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Well, the first step is actually, before you start creating any variations,
Mm-hmm.
you need to define your goals and hypotheses.
Okay, so it's not just about randomly changing things.
Nope. You need to know what you're trying to achieve.
Mhm.
Do you want more clicks, more conversions, a lower cost per acquisition? What's the objective?
And then you need a hypothesis.
Exactly. What do you think will happen?
Okay, so an example might be something like using lifestyle imagery in our ads will increase conversions by 10% compared to using product-only images.
Exactly. You're making an educated guess, and then you're using the A/B test to see if you're right.
And it sounds like these goals and hypotheses should be aligned with your overall business objectives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If your goal is to build brand awareness, your A/B test goals should reflect that. And if your goal is to drive sales, well, your tests should be focused on that.
So if you're a new company, you might focus on reaching a wider audience. And if you're an established company, you might focus on getting more conversions or maximizing your return on ad spend.
Exactly. It's all about tailoring your A/B testing strategy to your specific business goals.
Right.
Okay, so once you have a clear goal and a hypothesis, the next step is to identify what exactly you're going to test.
Right. We talked about headlines, descriptions, calls to action, images, landing pages, bidding strategies. It seems like a lot to keep track of.
It can be,
Yeah.
which is why it's so important to start simple. Choose one element to focus on, and don't try to test too many variations at once.
Okay, so if I'm testing headlines, I should keep everything else the same. The ad copy, the image, the landing page, all of it.
Exactly. You want to make sure the only clear difference between your variations is the element you're testing. That way, you can be confident that any changes in performance are due to that specific element.
Makes sense. All right, so I've got my variations. What's next?
Now you need to define your success metrics. How will you know if your test is working?
So I need to choose metrics that are aligned with my goals. If I'm trying to increase clicks, I'll track clicks. If I'm trying to boost conversions, I'll track conversions. And if I'm trying to reduce my CPA, well, I'll track that.
Exactly. And luckily, Google Ads has some great reporting tools that can help you track all of these metrics and see how your A/B test is performing.
Okay, so I've defined my metrics, I've created my variations, and I'm ready to launch my test. What are my options?
You can use Google Experiments, which is built right into the Google Ads platform.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty easy way to test different variations of your campaigns. Or you could do things manually.
Manually.
Yeah, you basically duplicate campaigns or ad groups, tweak one variable, and split the traffic between the variations.
Sounds a bit more hands-on.
It is, but it also gives you more control. And then you can also use third-party tools. The excerpt mentions Crazy Egg and Fiber AI. They can help you automate your A/B testing, collect data, and analyze your results more effectively.
So it sounds like there are a lot of options available, whether you prefer to do things yourself or you want to automate the process.
Exactly. And the right approach will depend on your specific needs and budget.
Okay, so let's say I've chosen my method and I'm ready to launch my test. Anything else I need to know?
Make sure you run your test long enough to collect enough data. You don't want to jump to conclusions too quickly or make changes before you have a clear picture of what's working.
Right, patience is key.
Exactly. And while the test is running, don't make any other changes to your campaign. You want to keep things consistent so you can be sure that any changes in performance are due to the element you're testing.
Makes sense. So once the test is done and I have enough data, it's time to analyze the results and implement the findings.
Right. You'll use those metrics we talked about earlier to compare how each variation performed.
And it's important to consider any external factors that might have impacted performance.
Oh, absolutely. Things like holidays, industry events, even the weather can impact how people respond to your ads.
Okay, so once I've identified the winning variation, I can apply those changes to my other ads or campaigns.
Exactly. You're taking what you've learned and using it to improve your overall marketing strategy.
And the best part is, it's an ongoing process. You can keep testing and refining your approach to get better and better results over time.
Exactly. It's all about continuous improvement.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the basics, but now I'm curious about some of the potential pitfalls. What are some common mistakes people make when A/B testing their Google Ads campaigns?
One of the biggest mistakes is testing too many things at once. We talked about this earlier. You need to isolate variables to get clear insights.
Right, it's like that baking analogy. If you change too many things at once, you won't know what made the difference.
Exactly. Another common mistake is not running the test long enough. You need enough data to be statistically significant.
So patience is key.
Yes. And remember, A/B testing is an ongoing process. You don't just set it and forget it. You need to constantly monitor, analyze, and adjust your approach based on what you learn.
Okay, now the excerpt also talks about the difference between Google split testing and A/B testing. Can you explain that a bit more?
Think of split testing as A/B testing, but on a bigger scale.
Okay.
With A/B testing, you're usually testing one element within an ad. With split testing, you're testing entire landing pages or even ad groups against each other.
Oh, I see. So it's a more holistic view of how different versions of your campaign perform.
Exactly. It can be really helpful for testing bigger changes, like completely redesigning your landing page or changing your ad campaign structure.
Okay, that makes sense. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are some key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
A/B testing is all about data, data, data. Use data to make informed decisions, not assumptions. And remember, it's an ongoing process. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. There are a ton of resources out there, and there are experts who can help you get the most out of your A/B testing efforts.
Exactly. A/B testing can feel overwhelming at first, but it's worth it. It's one of the most powerful tools you have for improving your Google Ads performance and achieving your business goals.
Okay, so now I'm going to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. Think about your current Google Ads campaigns. What one element could you A/B test right now that could make a big difference?
It could be your headline, your call to action, your image, your landing page. Just pick one thing and start experimenting.
That's a great challenge. All right, we'll be back in a moment to continue our exploration of A/B testing. Welcome back. We've been talking about how powerful A/B testing can be, but the excerpt you sent also mentions some common mistakes people make. What are some of the things that really trip people up?
Yeah, one of the biggest ones is not running tests long enough. People see a little bit of positive movement and think, boom, we've got a winner.
But that's kind of like judging a book by its cover, right? You need to give it time to really unfold.
Exactly. You need enough data to be sure that the results aren't just random. Otherwise, you could be making decisions based on, like, a fluke, and that could actually end up hurting your campaign.
So patience is key, but what about the opposite? What if you run a test for too long?
Yeah, that can be a problem too. Because the longer a test runs, the more likely it is that other things will start to influence the results.
Right. Like what?
Things like seasonality or what your competitors are doing. Even changes in the economy can have an impact. And all of that can make it harder to figure out what's really driving the results of your A/B test.
So it's all about finding that balance, right? Enough data to be confident, but not so much that it gets all muddled up with other factors. The excerpt also mentions that focusing only on short-term metrics can be a mistake. Why is that?
Because it's easy to get excited about a quick win, like a sudden jump in click-through rates. But what you really want is sustainable growth, right? Something that's going to have a long-term impact on your business.
So it's better to have a smaller increase that's consistent over time than a big spike that quickly disappears.
Exactly. Think of it like investing. You're not looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. You want steady, reliable growth.
Makes sense. And the excerpt also talks about the importance of getting expert help. It seems like they really want to emphasize that.
And for good reason. A/B testing can be tricky. There are a lot of nuances, and even small mistakes can end up costing you a lot of money.
It's like trying to fix your own plumbing, right? Sometimes it's better to call in a professional.
Exactly. An expert can help you create a solid testing strategy, avoid common pitfalls, analyze your data, and make smart decisions based on what you learn.
So it's really an investment that can pay off big time, especially if you're serious about making the most of your Google Ads campaigns.
And let's be honest, most business owners are already super busy, right? Having an expert to handle the A/B testing can free up their time and mental energy to focus on other things.
It's like having a personal chef, right? They take care of the cooking so you can focus on enjoying the meal.
I like that analogy. So yeah, getting expert help can be a game changer.
Okay, so let's talk about some specific ways an expert can help. What are some areas where their expertise can really make a difference?
Well, first of all, they can help you figure out what to test. Remember, it's not about randomly testing things. It's about choosing variables that are likely to have a real impact on your goals.
So if you're trying to increase brand awareness, they might suggest testing different ad creatives or targeting options to reach a wider audience. But if you're focused on driving conversions, they might recommend testing different calls to action or landing page designs.
Exactly. They can also help you set up your A/B tests correctly. Make sure you're using the right tools, tracking the right metrics, and collecting enough data to be statistically significant.
So they're kind of like your data analysts, helping you make sense of all the numbers and figure out what's really working.
That's a good way to put it. And they can also help with the creative side of things, coming up with new ad concepts, writing compelling copy, creating eye-catching visuals.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner who really understands your target market and how to get their attention.
Exactly. And speaking of tools, the excerpt also mentioned a tool called Fiber AI that can help with A/B testing, specifically for landing page personalization.
Oh yeah, I was curious about that. What's the deal with Fiber AI?
So basically, Fiber AI uses artificial intelligence to match your Google ads with landing pages that are personalized for each visitor. It's like having a tailor who creates a custom suit just for you.
So instead of sending everyone to the same generic landing page, you're creating a more unique experience that's more likely to convert.
Exactly. Fiber AI takes the guesswork out of landing page optimization. It uses data and AI to create a seamless experience that guides people towards taking action.
And they offer a free trial, right?
Yep. So you can try it out and see if it's right for you.
Okay, cool. Now, before we move on, I wanted to mention something else from the excerpt, the FAQ section. It seems like a lot of people are confused about what elements they should be testing.
Yeah, that's a common question. And the answer really depends on your goals and your target audience. But the excerpt does list some good starting points. Things like ad copy, headlines, calls to action, targeting options, and bidding strategies.
Right, those are all key elements that can have a big impact on your campaign performance. And it's a good reminder that you don't have to test everything at once. Start with the things that are most likely to move the needle.
Exactly. If you're struggling to get people to click on your ads, maybe focus on testing different headlines and ad copy. If you're getting clicks but not conversions, maybe you need to test different landing pages or calls to action.
It's like a detective trying to solve a case, right? You need to find the clues and figure out what's really going on.
I like that analogy. And remember, A/B testing isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one business might not work for another. The key is to experiment, see what happens, and adjust your approach based on the data.
So it's all about continuous improvement, right?
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination.
I like that. Okay, so to wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm going to leave our listeners with another question to think about. Imagine you had an unlimited budget and could hire the best A/B testing experts in the world. What would you have them focus on first to really take your Google Ads campaigns to the next level?
Ooh, that's a good one. It really makes you think about what's most important.
Exactly. All right, we'll be back in a moment to continue our discussion and explore even more A/B testing strategies. Okay, we're back, and I'm still thinking about that question. If you could have this dream team of A/B testing experts, where would you even have them start?
Well, it's easy to think they'd just wave a magic wand and everything would be perfect. But really, the best experts, they still rely on data.
Right, it's not magic.
No, it's a process. They'll probably start by just taking a good look at your whole account.
Okay.
See if there are any places where you're maybe wasting money or missing opportunities.
So it's not just about individual ads, it's about the whole strategy.
Exactly. They'd look at your targeting, your bidding strategy, the way your campaigns are structured, all of it.
I can see how that would be helpful, especially for someone who doesn't have a whole marketing team.
Yeah, definitely. It's like having an extra set of eyes, Someone who can spot things you might have missed.
Right, like having a coach who can point out your blind spot.
Exactly. And the excerpt you sent, it also talks about this idea of continuous optimization.
Oh, right.
It's not enough to just do a few A/B tests and then forget about it.
Yeah, you've got to keep at it.
Right. It's like working out. You can't just go to the gym once and expect to be in shape forever.
Makes sense. You have to keep showing up and putting in the work.
Yeah, exactly. And the same goes for A/B testing. You've got to keep monitoring your campaigns, looking at the data, and making adjustments as needed.
Yeah.
Because things change,
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Consumer behavior changes, new competitors pop up. Even Google's algorithms are constantly changing.
So you've got to be ready to adapt.
Exactly. And that's what makes A/B testing so interesting. It's this constant process of learning and evolving.
You're never really done, are you?
Nope. There's always something new to test, something new to learn.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing, right? It keeps things interesting.
Keeps you on your toes. All right, so we've talked about a lot of different aspects of A/B testing today. But at the end of the day, what's the most important thing for our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway is that A/B testing is all about using data to make decisions, not just going with your gut or what you think might work.
So data over intuition.
Exactly. Let the data guide you. And remember, A/B testing is a powerful tool that can help any business, big or small, succeed with Google Ads.
So if you're not already A/B testing, what are you waiting for?
Get out there and experiment.
That's right. That wraps up our deep dive into Google Ads A/B testing. We hope you found this discussion helpful and are ready to start optimizing your campaigns. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in. That's it for this episode of Mind Your Conversions, brought to you by Fiverr. I hope you are leaving with fresh ideas and strategies to take your marketing and your conversions to the next level. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. Thanks for listening. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time.